It's trying to now, but it was sat there. Here we go. Okay, here comes everyone. Good morning, everyone. I'm Judge Person, and I'm going to repeat myself a little bit until we get going. Welcome to the Temple Municipal Court. And again, I am Judge Person. I'm watching folks connect and just making sure that I know who people are. There are a few people I was not able to identify. I just wanted to check. There's a gentleman named Joe. I'm sending you an unmute request, Joe. I just want to check and see if you're Joe Campbell.
I am.
Great. Okay. Going to change it for this meeting only so that I don't lose track of you. Thank you. I'm going to remute you until it's your turn. And there was a person labeled Zoom user, a gentleman with kind of a beard, gray sweatshirt, got a skylight above him. I just sent you an unmute request. Can you tell me your name?
Jeremy Parks.
Thank you, Mr. Parks. I appreciate it. And I will be with you soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then Moto E6, can you unmute?
Yes, Your Honor. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I'm wondering, are you Mr. Soria?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. My name is Luis Soria.
Soria. It looks like you're in the hospital, sir.
Yes, ma'am. I just came out of surgery 14 hours ago.
Okay, listen, Mr. Soria, I think yes, I mean, it's great that you made it to court, but I really think the best approach is going to be that we might reschedule you because I don't know that it's the best time for you.
I understand, Your Honor. I just wanted to let you not take this seriously. So
yes, I can see that very clearly. If I rescheduled in 2 weeks, is that enough time for you to kind of get back up on your feet?
yes, Your Honor, it would be.
Okay, I'm going to do that on my own motion. You don't have to file anything given the situation. I think that's appropriate, okay? And I'm going to let you go. I think the best idea would be for you to go rest.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. We'll see you soon, okay? That new date, and we'll email it to your email, is going to be July 23rd, okay? I mean, sorry, February 23rd. Excuse me, February 23rd, okay?
Understand, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, sir. I'm going to remove you just for the easier reason that it's probably easier for me.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so I just want to thank you, everyone. So I usually do kind of a basic 101. It's helpful. It lets you kind of know how things move through a court like this one. Again, this is the Temple Municipal Court. The cases filed here are Class C offenses. They result in the imposition of fines and costs. They don't result in jail time. However, you can receive a warrant here if you fail to appear for court. If you have a court order also, and you don't fulfill that court order, that is another way that you can wind up with a warrant. So it's very important, in my opinion, for things to move through the court properly, that you understand what's expected as well as your order. And if we are sentencing today, and some people are in that position, if we're sentencing today, make sure that what I'm saying is clear to you. And then also we will be putting that in writing for you to either sign, depending on the type of order, or I'm just ordering it and sending it to you. You'll want to make sure you know what's expected, okay? If there's a lack of clarity there, a clerk can often help you. If a clerk cannot help you, that clerk can make sure that it's drawn to my attention that I need to clarify things for you. And that can be sometimes through an email or a letter. That can also be that we come back in if it didn't work. And we can come into the courtroom as well if that's needed. This is really mostly a convenience. I think most of us would rather be at home than be in the courtroom, but it is a privilege. So just be aware of that as well. Now, as far as how things move through a court, again, this is a Class C court. When something is filed here, either there is a traffic offense, there'll be a court date on the citation, or if something is filed and it's not issued by a police officer, we send a summons with a court date, and that results in a time to appear. When you appear, you signal your intention, where you're taking your case. And a lot of folks have filled out paperwork telling me that, but I'll be trying to confirm that. So again, these are Class C offenses. Now, generally speaking, there are three plea options for pleading in a court like this one. They are guilty, not guilty, and no contest. Of course, we're presumed to be not guilty. However, if we change that by pleading guilty or no contest, we're moving forward into sentencing. So just quickly, guilty means I did this, and we're moving into sentencing. No contest, another option, is not contesting. It's not admitting the offense. It's not denying the offense. It's more or less a neutral way to move into sentencing because the same thing will happen. So if you plead guilty or no contest, we're moving into sentencing. If you plead not guilty, then you're maintaining that innocence that the law presumes, but it's a little bit bigger than that. We don't have an innocence plea in America. We have a not guilty plea. And the reason being that when we plead not guilty, it becomes the state's burden at trial to prove the case against us. So if you plead not guilty, we're moving that case toward trial. I am assuming that it will go to trial. Some cases will settle before trial. Some cases won't. I don't know which will do what, okay? So I'm going to treat that not guilty plea with the maximum, honoring of your rights moving forward as the law provides. And we're not sentencing, and I'm not getting involved in the case such that I listen to the facts of the case. That's the biggest thing. If you plead guilty or no contest, we can talk about the case, but I can't just throw the case out, okay? I'm listening in connection with sentencing. I'll be looking at financial concerns on that piece. On the pretrial docket where you're pleading not guilty, the time I look at income is really to schedule or set a bond. So I do ask for that information, and sometimes we come to a point where I require it, but I ask up front because it's being used a lot of different ways. I don't mind talking about that as needed. Okay, so a lot of times I look at it much later. It just kind of depends. So if I'm taking a plea of guilty or no contest, generally speaking, the general rule is that you're found guilty, it goes on your record, and you pay the fines and costs. Now let's back into that in just a quick moment. Paying of fines and costs is based on income as well as debts. And I do look at those things if you're not paying it up front. I look at it and see, is there a good way to go about it? And I try to set it up in a realistic way, okay? So that's one thing. The next thing is in terms of having the item go on your record. That's the general rule, but there are still 4 ways to gain a dismissal directly from me as the judge. Let me tell you what those are and quickly tell you how they work. Compliance dismissals, driver safety course options, deferred dispositions, and teen court. Now, compliance dismissals are things that can be brought up to date and dismissed. The law has to specify that that can happen or it can happen. It's just black letter of the law, in black and white in the law. If it says yes, then I start looking to see if you qualify. I do that even if you don't know to ask, because the law says the judge shall do so. So I will try to find those things. You're welcome to ask about it, but I'm not going to wait for the question, okay? 2, driver safety course options. If you qualify to be in the program and you complete the program, you gain a dismissal. You also save some money. So let me just talk a moment about money. It's like one of those things that people always tell you growing up, don't talk to people about money. And then we have to do it in court all the time. So in terms of costs and fines, when you call the clerk and you say, well, I have this speeding ticket, and they give you a number, they say, it's $267. And you think, wow, what's all that about? And so here's what part of that is about. So if you break that number down into two numbers, you could break it into fines and costs. Costs are set by the Texas legislature. I do not have control over that number. And even though sometimes I might wish I did, costs are set by the legislature. Fines are set by the judge. That would be yours truly. So in the driving safety course option, the way that program works under the law is that you pay the court costs. You have to pay them all at once. They're not cheap. I get that. We'll work on a date. If today doesn't work, we'll look at a time that it would. Okay. You pay the costs and you submit license, insurance, and the costs. That's if you qualify to be in the program. Then you have to turn in your course and your driving record on time, the proper course, the proper driving record. All of this will be in writing, and we'll even give you a little cheat sheet for how to find the information online, because a lot of times you're getting it online. You turn those things in, you get a dismissal. Now you may be asking yourself, I paid the cost, but what happened to the fine? The fine is just on hold. And if you complete the program and get your case dismissed, that fine gets waived. So I dismiss and waive, dismiss the charge off the record, waive the fine. Okay, so that's a program, and that's there. Sounds maybe a little too good. The reason for that is, one, your time is going to be required on that class, but the other, so it's not nothing. But the other thing is, we know that people drive better after they do that course. I mean, it's just a proven fact. So if we know that to be true and we incentivize it, we get better drivers. That's the theory. That's why that program still is out there. It hasn't gone away, thank goodness. And so it's a way to gain a dismissal and keep it off your record and save money. Okay, so talk to me about it if you want to do that, but I am looking to see if you qualify up front. I'm always looking for that, because again, the law just specifies that the judge shall do that. So the third one, I said there were four. The third one is a thing called a deferred disposition. Deferred means to delay, disposition to dispose of. I delay finishing your case. I put an order in place. The order lists what you must do to gain a dismissal. If you do the things listed, you get a dismissal. It's pretty simple. Sometimes there's a class, a record, something that you provide or do. We have to sort the payment issue out so that we can close the case when we dismiss it. That one works a little differently, so listen up. On a deferred disposition in a Class C court, you can ask the judge directly for a deferred. If you're in a higher level court, like a Class B or above court or a felony court, you must ask the prosecutor only first, get an agreement, and come to the judge with that request. So it works a little differently here. If you've pled guilty or no contest, and I have yet to sentence you, you can ask today. It was on the form that we gave you to fill out. Some people looked at it and they said, I don't want to do that. Some people looked at it, didn't know what it was, and moved on. The information's on the website. I do explain it anyway, because we all learn things in different ways. So if you're hearing this now and now it makes sense and you want to talk to me about it, you're supposed to bring that issue up. Guilty or no contest, I'd like a deferred, judge. That's how you do that, okay? You can ask the prosecutor. Y'all can bring me a request if you both agree. However, on my docket of guilty or no contest, you're supposed to make the request directly. I'm not supposed to be asking you. And we could take an afternoon to talk about why that is, but that's basically the nuts and bolts of that. Okay. So then the fourth option is if you qualify to be in the teen court program with teen court. There are a few different processes that we use. The goal of teen court is to not have you reoffend. If you're underage, meaning below 17, then I need a parent involved. but we'll be talking about it. I'll be pushy a little bit about Teen Court. One of the main reasons is it's the most successful program we have in terms of recidivism recurrence. And when we're talking about traffic offenses, we really are talking about a health and safety issue. In the traffic context, Teen Court being the most successful, it's also the group with the highest rate of not only reoffending, but being injured, hurt, or causing death or dismemberment on the roadway. If you're 25 and under, you're our super group. And Texas is the #1 state to die in traffic related offenses. And that's not because we have more people, that's a pro-rata distributed adjustment that was made, and we're still #1. If you're 25 and under, you're in like the super group, high achieving on the not wanting to achieve this. So I'm pushing on Teen Court. You'll find that I will be doing that if it appears to me that you might be qualified. Now, none of these are required. You can always just pay the ticket. But I assume that people are here because they're interested, they're engaged about their case, because nothing stops you from walking up to the clerk or going online and paying your ticket in 99% of the cases. So I'm assuming you want information or you wouldn't be here unless you have a warrant, and that might be another reason that you're here. Okay, so I'll be working with people case by case. All right, so that's really the 101. We're going to move on forward. It's going to start moving a little bit faster now. Folks on the pretrial docket, you've pleaded not guilty. That means that you're meeting today with the prosecutor. What happens today is a meeting, and then if you decide that if y'all don't resolve the case somehow in some manner, then we're coming in next to a pretrial here in the building. We're scheduling trial. We're engaging in trial activities, getting ready for that trial at the next meeting. So it was already on the paperwork that you were sent. It's already been set up in our system to be there. If you resolve your case, that goes away, but you already have the date, but I will remind you. Okay, so that's a breakout room because I'm not part of that discussion. It's not appropriate for a judge to hear the facts of a case and predetermine a position without everyone who's going to testify being under oath in the courtroom at the same time. Okay, so that's a conversation with the prosecutor. The prosecutor is the equivalent of a district attorney. However, answers not to the district attorney, but to the city attorney. The prosecutor that appears in this court most regularly is Ryan Matson. Mr. Matson, can you unmute just briefly and just please introduce yourself?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Ryan Matson. I'm the prosecutor for Temple.
Thank you, Mr. Matson. And when you're meeting with him, just bear in mind that he is the attorney for the city. He is not your attorney. We are very accustomed to folks who are representing themselves. We know that when you represent yourself, you don't always know everything about the law, but you may have some information. We assume, of course, that you do, but don't be confused is what I'm trying to say about his role, because he's representing the party that filed the case, okay? And that's a one-on-one conversation y'all are having. You'll meet, and then afterwards, I'll actually push you over into that meeting. I'll let you know I'm going to do it. And then you'll come back at the end because we'll have a conversation before you leave today about what are the next steps. And everybody does that, you know, I don't talk to Mr. Matson about the cases. Mr. Matson, the first person on the list for you today is John Galvin. Mr. Galvin, can you unmute and just let us know that your audio is working?
Yes, hello, good morning.
Hi, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. I'm going to move you over to a meeting with the prosecutor, and then y'all will both come back in this meeting at the end, okay?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Matson, I'm moving you as well. And there we go. I'm also moving forward, and Abigail Baruman, I probably said that incorrectly. You can feel free to let me know the proper way to say your name. Where are you? Let's see. Y'all have to know. Oh, great. I'm looking at the screen and I actually see everyone the whole time. And then if you're online for some people, you can do that. And for some people, you can. It just depends on how you set your system up. But good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you, ma'am?
Thank you for asking. I'm doing well. I kind of keep track. Okay. So just let me kind of recap where we are and sort of let you know where I think we are, and that way, if I'm incorrect about it, you can let me know. This is a possession of a drug paraphernalia charge, and the accusation date is January 20th. If you paid it at the window, the fines and costs are $286, and I did receive a no contest plea to that charge and a request for a deferral, which I'm inclined to grant. But I wanted to ask you first and just confirm, is no contest or plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then you are requesting a deferral?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I will grant that deferral. Let me tell you what I normally do on these kinds of cases. I do have to figure out, payment. I just do that real quickly up front. Are you able to pay anything today?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yes. Are you able to pay anything towards your balance today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what can you pay? What's the max that you can pay today?
What is the amount total?
$286
I can pay that total.
today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then the other part, sorry, let me take a note real quick. Let me just pull what can I look just quickly at the citation itself? I'm just going to look real quickly at it.
I know there's a problem with it because at first he had given me one for running a stop sign, but then
Okay.
he out and put it as a warning.
Well, that's nice, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And I'm just, oh yeah, I see that. He crossed it out. Okay. He did not indicate, and I don't yet have a complaint, I don't think, from that. So you might just tell me, because it'll save us some time.
Yes.
What is the paraphernalia involving here?
Marijuana.
Okay. So I normally require a marijuana intervention class. It's online. I'll give you a list of classes that you can choose from.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just going to require, I think, let me just double check my sheet. Hang on, I'm sorry, we're printing. They're printing something for me. I haven't had you in the court before, and so I usually keep it manageable. There is a 6-hour class. And, oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong. That's a general class. 4 on marijuana awareness. It would be a 4-hour class. And I would have a due date of March 14th for that class.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you say?
That's perfectly fine with me.
Okay. So the next thing is I need to get a signature and collect payment and hand you the information for how to find a class.
Yes, ma'am.
You're in Belton. Can you come by the court today at your convenience to complete this cycle?
Is it at the same place where I got? Okay. Yes, ma'am. I can.
What time will work for you?
I can go after this if I can.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't rush because we need to get it ready. How about between 10 and 11?
That's fine.
Okay. And so you'll just show up when you get here, walk in, go back to any clerk, tell them who you are, that your paperwork is here. They'll get that worked. They'll bring that out to you. You'll sign it. They'll get a copy for you. They'll give you course information. They'll give you a copy of your deferral. And then they'll give you a receipt for payment.
Yes, ma'am.
At that point, the only thing you're having to do is don't reoffend, don't get warrants, don't move without telling us. Keep your address, your phone number straight with us until the end of the deferral. The deferral in June 13th. And really that means, no more offenses or warrants during that time. And then get your course turned in by March 14th to the clerk's desk. And at the end, as long as you've met those conditions, and they'll be checked off on your order, I will sign a dismissal.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we will see you soon then, and you are free to exit at this time.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Have a nice day.
Thank you, ma'am. You too. Matson, I will move Mr. Galvin back over while I pull his file. Continuing to try to make that. There we go. Thank you, Mr. Galvin. If you can unmute, that would be great. And Mr. Matson, where are we in connection with this case? It's a single case of no insurance from January 5th.
We're going to continue the final pretrial, Your Honor, but I do anticipate that this case will be resolved prior to that date.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Galvin, what happens next is that I'm expecting that we will all be in the court on March 22nd at 1. It appears that the two of you may have a way that you're going to resolve it prior to that day. Don't make that assumption until you confirm it. And the only way to confirm that is to call the clerk the morning of, see if it's still on. If it's on, be here so we can figure out what's going on.
Absolutely.
If it's off, if it's off, they can tell you, and that way you don't make a trip. Okay.
I will do that, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, sir. You're good to go.
Thank you so much, and you have a good day, Your Honor. Thank you.
You too, sir. Bye-bye. Mr. Matson, I'm going to try to say this, but it's Carla Awisus. Awisus. Can you help me know the best way?
Wishes.
Thank you. Awissus. Okay. I'm going to move you over to that meeting with Mr. Matson at this time.
Yes, ma'am.
And then
Thank you.
yes, ma'am. At the end, you'll come back to this meeting. Okay. And then I will move forward with Elkin Osorio Gomez. If you can unmute.
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I do have a single case of no license. The allegation date is January 16th, and if you paid it at the window, it's 181. I will tell you that because you were 17 and I see that you're a high school student, we can look at teen court as an option, one of the options. But before we even get there, sorry, I'm looking for something. Before we even get there, I would ask you, are you getting a license right now?
I'm working on that.
Where are you in that process?
I'm still trying to find a way to get a license because I'm not a USA citizen, so I really don't know what to do in that case.
I think what we do in this case is we do teen court, and part of that is you can talk to a case manager and they might have some information about that. I'm not sure what they're going to know about that, but just give me 1 second.
Yes, ma'am.
But let me see when. Mr. Osorio, when can you be here?
I can be there today.
Right, what time?
I really don't matter the time. It don't matter. You can
Okay,
just tell me the time.
okay. Two things. With teen court, there's a $20 fee. Can you pay that fee today? It's a cash fee.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you'll do that when you get here. And the other thing is that there'll be a class for you to do. Now I'm going to let the case manager tell me which class is best, because if we can connect it to something you need to do anyway to get a license, we'll try to double down on that. So I'm going to let her talk with you and she'll bring it in to me as a recommendation while you're here probably. And can you get here in the next half hour?
Yes, ma'am. I can
Okay.
do that.
A parent should be with you just because someone needs to drive you who can drive you. Is there someone who can drive you?
Yes, my mom is right here, right next to me.
Okay, great. That's perfect. So the due date on that class is probably going to be the 14th of March, but it might be a driving related class, or it might be a life skills class. It kind of depends on where we can plug you into the process of getting a license. So I'm going to let the case manager tell me about what's best after y'all sit down and visit. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm just making a note. Okay, we will see you here at the window, and just let them know you're here to talk to the juvenile case manager. Okay,
I'm sorry, can you repeat that again?
right. Let them know when you get here that you're here to talk to the juvenile case manager.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Osorio. This is a way to gain a dismissal. So we'll talk to you about the best way to do that when you get here.
Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next person, let me just make sure I'm keeping up here. Vernon Johnson, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
How are you, sir?
I'm fairly well.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. Let me get your file pulled up. Okay, we have a few things. I'm sorry, I'm just reviewing it real quickly. This is a case where we already have a sentence in place. You were on a payment arrangement.
Yes, ma'am.
I think unfortunately something's happened, and right now you're in between positions.
Yes, ma'am.
So what I normally do at this point is I shift our sentence over to a community service order instead of payment.
Yes, ma'am.
And we cross out the payment arrangement, and we go ahead and order that it be done through hours of service.
Yes, ma'am.
And I have a list of places that are pre-approved.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
have a process that you can follow if you want to leave the list, but you'll have to it's real specific so
Yes,
that I
ma'am.
know. The main reason there is if you're going to leave a pre-approved list, I need to make sure that when you turn in your hours, you didn't waste your time.
Yes, ma'am.
But it turns into 106 hours total.
Yes, ma'am.
And I would start with 60 days to get that done, which means you would turn it in or apply for an extension by
Yes, ma'am.
April 11th. Now, I would give you a list of places, a timesheet to keep track of your hours, a set of rules to know how to keep it so that I can accept it when you turn it in.
Yes, ma'am.
And then I give you a due date. My expectation is that at the due date, if you turn it all in, I zero out your balance, you're done.
Yes,
If
ma'am.
if we get to the due date and you don't have all the hours, you turn in what you've done. That lets me know how much more time you might need.
Yes, ma'am.
You also write me a note at the window. That way it's kind of at your convenience that you can just tell me how much time you think you might need. And then I'm normally just going to keep plugging away with you until you're done.
That'll do. I appreciate that, ma'am.
Yes, sir. So I do need to ask you to sign. There's one thing to sign. It just says City of Temple is one of the providers on the list. It's not the only one. You choose where you go because I don't manage your time for you. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And it just says if you work with them, they don't have coverage if you're injured. They don't have privacy if you're seen or spotted. And I also have kind of a packet for you to sign up, where, that way where you're allowed to go. And the list has, times, locations, a phone number for contact, the basic expectations of each thing. Okay.
Gotcha. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what time can you come by to just pick all that up?
Give me 30 minutes and I'll be up there to come pick it up, ma'am.
Okay. No rush. Let's say 10:30-ish.
Got you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll have it at the window for you then.
Thank you, Judge. You have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. And you too. Thank you for that. I appreciate
Yes.
it.
Yes, ma'am.
Stay blessed.
To you as well.
Okay, Mr. Matson, I know you were talking with Miss Oisu's, trying to move her back over. Still trying. Let's see what's going on. Slow system today. There we go. Okay. So on this matter, and Ms. Awishu's, oops, it keeps moving around. Hold on. Where did she go? There we go. Okay. If you could, you can unmute. Mr. Matson, this is a speeding in a school zone charge. Where are we with regard to that matter?
We are going to continue to final pretrial, Your Honor, and Ms. Awishus has requested discovery at that time.
Okay, Ms. Awishus, I'll add discovery to that. Discovery is a process for obtaining information related to the charge that the state may have in its possession. And we'll do that on the same date, which is March 22nd at 1 o'clock.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You'll need to plan to be here probably about an hour that day because it will actually take a little extra time to do the discovery. It's no problem. Just plan accordingly, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
When you get here, you'll just check in with the clerk. They'll let us know you're here. And I slowly just trickle people in and we move through their matters. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Matson, I'm moving you forward with Paulina Velasquez. Ma'am, can you unmute and let me know that your audio is working?
Yes. Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you. I'll move you over to that meeting with the prosecutor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I also am moving forward, and the person I have next is Gervania Williams. Hi, how are you today? Oops, I muted you by accident. Thank you. Just begging your patience. I'll ask you to unmute again. We hit the button at the same time. So, okay, how are you today?
Good. You.
Good. Do you have a parent with you because you're 16?
No, ma'am.
Okay, we'll have to reset it, but I can preliminarily sort of let you know what's happening, okay? Actually, here's what I can do. Let me just ask you a couple of quick questions.
Okay.
Teen court's perfect for this, and I will grant it. But before I do teen court, I want to ask, was the vehicle that you were driving insured at the time?
Can you repeat that? Can you repeat that again?
Yes. Was the vehicle that you were driving at the time insured?
No, ma'am.
Sorry. Again?
No, ma'am.
No?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So with teen court, what will happen is there'll be a $20 fee. And then I will actually require that you provide some insurance and write an SA. I can schedule you. I need a parent. I can't proceed without one. I can reset you for February 23rd to have a parent.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Will they be able to attend?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Sometimes people are living with someone else who's not a parent. Is that your situation? I don't know. So is that your situation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. They kind of freeze up and they don't know what they're supposed to do. So if you have a guardian, who are you living with?
My grandmother.
Okay. Grandmother is fine. Is she there right now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So can she be there when we meet again?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The email that we used to set up this meeting, is that email a good one for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm just going to reset it.
Okay.
And but with that in mind, I already have a pretty good idea that we're looking at teen court. I asked about the insurance because, well, frankly, That's the easiest way to get it dismissed.
Yes,
And I don't want to miss that option for you. But since that's not the case, we'll look at the teen court process for dismissal, and we'll discuss the details when you come back in. If y'all already have insurance for the vehicle that you didn't have before,
yes,
go
ma'am.
ahead and email that in response to the setting. It won't cancel the date, but it'll allow me to check off one of the boxes already on the teen court option. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So we're emailing the new setting to you, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. Okay.
I got a question.
Yes.
Is there a way that I can get a school note to school?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll email that over to you. Let me just make a note for the clerk. Okay. All right. I made a note for them to send that they'll send it with the setting. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. We
Thank
should
you.
have that to you soon, pretty soon, within
Okay.
within an hour, I would say. Thank you. Okay, I'm moving forward. And my next person is John Elwell.
Yes, ma'am. I'm here.
Great. You're not driving, right?
I'm parked.
Great. Well, one, I don't allow it, but two, you're cutting in and out a little bit. So sometimes that happens if a car is moving. Okay, so where we are, I have a couple of things going on this docket I want to review with you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, there's an expired driver's license charge from November 25th of 2022. It has fines and costs of $181. And sir, I did receive a plea of guilty to that charge. And is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I had another stop that I don't have pleas on the case, but January 16th is the date of stop. There is a stop for an failure to display 2 license plates as required by law. There's got to be front and back. On that one, the fines and costs are $181. I didn't receive a plea. How are you pleading at this time?
Guilty.
Okay.
I have taken care of both of those.
That's good. There's also an expired driver's license charge. The fines and costs are $181. How are you pleading at this time?
Guilty.
Okay. Have you fixed that situation? Because
Yes, ma'am. I have it right here.
great. Okay. Okay. I'll think about that in just a moment. And then there is a charge for an unrestrained child. The fines and costs are $234. How are you pleading at this time?
No contest.
Okay. Have you been able to get a car seat? Do you have access to one?
We had a car seat at the time, but she had just thrown up, and when we got pulled over, she just got put in there. And my girlfriend, she didn't strap her back in when we got pulled over.
Got it. Okay. You've applied for a payment plan. It does look like we could do one. You had said you could pay $100 a month. That's pretty steep. I'm willing to let you do that. What I would suggest is let's just talk for a moment. You're paid weekly. What day of the week are you paid?
Friday.
Fridays. So this Friday, can you make a $30 payment?
Yeah, $30.
Yes, that would be tomorrow, no later than tomorrow.
More than likely, yes.
Well, it's a court order, so I can't do a maybe. If you aren't clear that that will work, then we need to do a different date. So I can go tomorrow. Sorry.
Could we do the following Friday? I got a baby shower this weekend, and without with it raining this week, it's gonna be a little short.
Right. I was just going to say I could do tomorrow or next Friday. So it sounds like next Friday would work best.
Yes, ma'am, please.
Okay. And then after that, it'll be every 2 weeks, you pay $30.
Okay.
I need you to come by the court and make the signature today on that payment arrangement in order for me to grant it. What time will you be here?
What time does the court close?
We close at 5. We ask that you be here by 4:30.
Can I do 4:30?
Yes. No later than 4.
Because I'm at work right now.
Right. No, yeah, you could come on a lunch break sometimes, but no later than 4:30.
I'm working in clean. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, no later than 4:30 will work. Can you, if I email it to you, can you print it and sign it and email it back with your signature?
I might be able to. I have to see if we have a printer in the office.
Okay, why don't I plan for you to come here, and then if emailing, when you get there, if you find that that will work, you can call a clerk and have them email it to you.
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Let me just make a note. Okay. All right. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Elwell, I will schedule all of that onto a payment plan. And then if you want to pay more, you won't be penalized. You'll just get done faster. It's a little less than what you offered,
Yes,
but sometimes, especially when people have children, and I saw you're the provider in the home, I just want to make it doable. And then if you want to get out from under it faster, that's perfectly fine as well. Okay. There's no penalty for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Matson, Ms. Velasquez, where are we on the red light charge?
Your Honor, Ms. Velasquez actually wanted to discuss defensive driving with you.
Okay, well, there's an issue with that because defensive driving is something that we're supposed to ask for the first time we appear at court. So you technically waived it. Does the state have any objection to taking that step?
The state does not have an objection, Your Honor. I know that that is handled through you and her plea would need to be changed. So I told her that she'd have to discuss it with you right now.
Okay, all right. I'll let you know if it's going back onto pretrial or if we're doing that. You have a pretty hefty docket though. May I go ahead and move you forward?
You may.
Okay, Jason Lopez. You're next on that docket. Can you unmute, sir? Perfect. Let me make sure I can hear you.
You hear me?
Perfect. Okay. I'm going to move you on over to that meeting and with the prosecutor. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So Ms. Velasquez, when we look at that option, I am allowed to do that. But right now you've contested the charge. If you enter a plea of no contest, I'm able to do a driver safety course option. The thing is, there is the court cost and it's a discretionary driver safety course option. And so you would have to pay the cost and fine total of the ticket to be in that program, but it would keep it off of your record.
Okay, I don't really know exactly what to do because I honestly don't find myself guilty.
Right. On a plea of, hold on a moment. Let me address one thing at a time because, I'm the judge of the court. That's what I do. So you can plead guilty. You can plead no contest. So under Texas law, people are not required to admit guilt in order to be in those programs. So to me, that's kind of, I understand why you might say that because people feel strongly about traffic tickets. I used to prosecute and defend death penalty cases. And I'm going to tell you, people are every bit as charged up about a traffic ticket as something as dramatic as that. So I get that people take it seriously, but you're not required to admit guilt in order to be in a program that will make you drive better and that will, you know, increase your odds of surviving driving in our state. So if you plead guilty or no contest, I would be willing to grant a driver safety course option, but it's under the discretion of the judge. And that means that you're paying the $269 to be in that program. A deferral would work very similarly. You would still be required, because you're 25 or under a deferral, you're required to take a driving safety course. So it's your choice, but those are the options that you have. You can do the discretionary driving safety course option. You could do a deferral, which is a length of time where you don't reoffend and you take the course and you pay the court costs and fines, or you can take your case to trial. But it's your case. I can't make a decision for you, and I can't give you legal advice.
Okay. I'm just more worried about it not being on my record. Is there any?
How are you pleading? Because we're getting a little far into the weeds.
I
Okay.
don't contest. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, then you had a question.
Yeah. I'm just with the. I don't know if you could answer this question for me, but how would it work for like not being on my record? It would just be completely gone, or?
Right. So that's a good question, and probably other people have that question. Here's the thing. The fact that you were stopped, I can't erase that happened. So in terms of that it kind of depends on who's asking. Like if somebody says, I want it off my record, okay, I can keep you from having, if you do your part, a conviction on your record, but I can't erase the fact that you were stopped in this kind of process. And for most of us, it's not relevant. I mean, what we're really concerned about is like our insurance rates going up, our insurance company getting a report on our driving record that you have a conviction. Under the discretionary driving safety course option, it will show that you've taken a driving safety course because we have to report that course, but it won't say that you have a conviction.
Okay.
Now, if you happen to be, let's say not you, but a soldier who has a high security clearance driving a general, and they're looking at every breath you take, they might find that you were pulled over, and they might hear that you were pulled over, but I can't address it anyway.
Okay.
Okay, so that's why when people say, oh, I just don't want it on my record, and I know what they mean, or I think I know what they mean, but I don't really know what they mean, because that's actually a very complicated question, depending on who's asking and who's looking and what the concerns are.
Okay.
I can't tell you what every insurance company does in the state of Texas, and I can't tell you at all what your policy says, but I can tell you that if you do the driving safety course option, you get the case dismissed and it's not a conviction on your record, you're not a CDL holder, so you're eligible for me to grant that relief, then we can get that done. As long as you get the course and the record turned in on time.
Okay. Sounds perfect.
Okay, but you do have to pay the full amount of the ticket. Are you able to do that today?
At the moment, I cannot do that today. I am at the moment financially unstable. I'm just keeping afloat in my household afloat at the moment. The attorney did tell me he can put down my cost.
Okay, so now we've removed him from the process, and the process is now I'm working with you on this. I wasn't part of that conversation. I have a question. I have a list of your bills here, and your mother and father are listed. Are you
Yes.
living in their home? What's the situation?
Yes, I am living with my mom and my dad, but I do pay most of the bills because they're paying off their own bills. So they had asked me to pay like the rent, the water, the light, and then I still have my own personal bills as well.
Right. Well, looking at a calendar, today is the 9th. I could give you some time. I have a real quick issue, which is that on the 23rd, I'm not supposed to be scheduled for court. Because I have a staff budget retreat meeting. And that's supposed to be on the calendar. So let's shift that date. Sorry, ma'am. Give me a second to the 28th.
Okay.
And we'll circle back around after and see what. Okay. So on those resets, just make a note and let's talk to people. We got to do a little remedial. Okay, so just if I'm looking at a calendar, are you paid on every other week?
Yes, I'm paid bi-weekly.
What day of the week?
Usually every other Friday.
And is that tomorrow or the next week?
Next week.
So by the 3rd of March, that would be 2 pay periods. Can we do it by that time?
I would think so.
Now, sometimes people say no because it's the 1st of the month, but the middle of the month doesn't always work either. So it would be either I could do March 3rd or March 17th.
I can go ahead. I'll do March 17th.
Okay, so I just need your signature. If I email you an extension form for that process, can you print it and sign it and return it?
No, I do not have a printer.
Can you come by the court and at what time today?
Whenever I can come whenever today.
Okay, how about in the next half hour?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, we should be able to have it ready by then for you to sign, okay?
Okay. And
Okay.
I do have one more question. With the total cost, is there any way that I can lower that, like we can get that lowered?
Let me look at it.
I can't hear you, ma'am.
Yeah, I know, I'm talking to a clerk.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
I have a room full of people helping me.
Oh, okay.
Just give me a moment. I mean, I know we're online, but I'm not in my living room. So hang on just a moment. Yes, I can do a reduction on the fine. The cost I can't reduce. Yes. And what's that total when you have it? Okay, I can drop it to 214.
214?
Yes.
Okay, and whatever I spoke to with the attorney,
Yeah.
would that make a difference? Because he had told me a different price, the lowering rate.
You know, this is kind of turning into like you're playing us both around. So I'm sorry, but you know, you had a conversation that I'm not part of. And you want a process that you waive. And I'm getting you back to that process that you waive, and I'm doing a reduction and I'm giving you an extension. And that's really all I'm prepared to do.
Okay, thank you.
If you want to take it to trial, you can, but this is what I'm willing to do. What do you want to do?
Whatever you lowered it to, I'm just grateful that you lowered it.
I lowered it by $55.
That's
That
fine.
brings your total to 214. On the 17th of March, which is over a month extension, you would come in, pay that amount, bring license and insurance. From that day, not today, you will have 90 days to bring back a driving safety course that's approved for ticket dismissal and a copy of your driving record, both of which you can do online, and we will give you the information for how to do that when you come in on the 17th of March. If you get those two things turned in by your due date, which will be 90 days from that extension date, we'll sign a dismissal.
Okay.
Okay. We'll see you then, but we need you to come by at 10:30 and make a decision.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Your Honor, before you bring Mr. Lopez back over, I mainly just wanted to check with you on whether or not he is indigent.
Oh, I have not. Look, let me look.
I don't believe he is, but I'm just double checking with you.
Okay, give me just 2 seconds. That's Mr. Lopez, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
I mean, technically he is because the family receives EBT food stamps.
Okay, he's asking about community service.
He would be eligible for community.
And would you be comfortable with putting community service on a deferral?
I do it all the time.
Okay, then I will let him know.
Okay, I'll let you, you can let me know when y'all are ready.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, can I ask someone to help me? They gave me this little, shelf. There's no leeway. Okay, so I'm moving forward and Hunter Mast, can you unmute?
Good morning.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. Let me get your file pulled. I do need a parent with you. Who do we have there?
She's next to me.
Okay, let me see her. Hi, Mom. Hi, can you tell me your name?
Cedar Woolley.
What's the first name?
Cedar, Cedar.
And the last name?
Woolley, Wooley.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so Hunter, the charge is a speeding charge. The fines and costs are $254. The allegation date is January 17th. And this is 75 and 60. I did receive a no contest plea and a request for teen court, which I'm inclined to grant, but I do need to confirm, is your plea no contest at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So my next question is, there is a $20 dismissal fee. Can you pay that fee today?
Yes, ma'am.
And then on this one, the most important thing is that we get you back to being more safe when you drive. And so I would already just move you towards a class, a driving course that would be due by March 14th.
Okay.
And I'm going to ask, what time you can come by to pay the $20 fee. And that's when we're going to hand you all the information for how to find a class. That's also going to be when you sign your order and get a copy of it.
Do we pay in person or online?
Yes, it's got to be in person on Teen Court.
Can we go today? That's good.
Can we come in today?
Yeah, it has to be today. So the question is, what time today can you be here?
In the next 30 minutes.
Okay.
In about
by 11?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that'll work.
Is it the place in Temple?
Is it the place in Temple?
Yeah, it's exactly where you came before. And just when you get here, it won't take but about 15 minutes. Any clerk can help you. You walk in, they'll identify you. Mom's got to come in with you because she has to sign too.
All right, thank you. Can I get a school note?
Yes, we can get you a school note.
Okay.
Mom can have a note for work if she needs one. Plenty of people need them. Okay. All right, we'll see you then. You have any
All right,
questions?
thank you. Have a nice day.
Y'all have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you're good to go.
All right, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Mr. Matson, I'm moving Mr. Lopez back over. And there we go. Thank you, Mr. Lopez. Okay, Mr. Matson, let's begin where you are.
Mr. Lopez is going to be placed on deferral, Your Honor.
Okay.
And I am requiring a driver safety course by the 60th day.
Okay.
But since he is indigent, he is requesting community service in lieu of payment. And I know that that is something that you will talk to him about.
Yes, I will grant it. Mr. Lopez, the prosecutor did step away. I think you knew that, to do a conversation with me to make sure that you were qualified for driving safety. And he was clarifying my policies. And what I informed him of while you weren't with us was that was acceptable to me. that I had looked at your file. I did that quickly. I saw that you are legally where I have been able to make that adjustment. So in lieu of payment, you would be doing 13 hours of community service. It would be due on April 11th, just like your class.
All right.
And what I can do is give you a list of places in the community that are pre-qualified, plus some instructions for how to go about it if you're trying to leave that list behind and do something else. There's restrictions. There'll also be a timesheet to keep track of your hours and verify your hours, and a list of directions for how to go about it. Then the next thing is we'd also give you information for the class, how to find the class. And largely people do those online, although live classes are acceptable as well. And the other thing that I would say that's probably important for you to know, besides the fact that I'm going to need to figure out a signature, is that your deferral will require that you not reoffend during the deferral period, which would end June 13th, and that you not receive any warrants or failures to appear in court when you're required to be in a courtroom, and keep your address current. So those are the main things. That will all be listed on your deferred order if you want to do that. So is that what you are wanting to do as well?
Yes, please.
Seemed to be an agreement between the two of you. I just wanted to confirm that. So your order will read from today until June 13th. You're on a deferred disposition. During that time, it is required that you not get any more traffic citations or any other violations under the law, that you keep your record clear and not receive any warrants or failures to appear, that you turn in your driving safety course no later than April 11th, and that you turn in your 13 hours of community service not later than that same date. It's kind of a lot of information. The easiest way to go about it would be if you would come by the court so that you can really sit down and look at all the information and confirm that you understand what you need to do. You'll be signing a couple of things and getting copies, and then you'll be good to go. It won't take but about 15 minutes. Can we have you come in this morning or this afternoon?
Yeah, I can do today.
Okay, what time?
Like in 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Don't rush. Let's say by about 11.
All right, sound good.
Okay. All right. We should have almost everything ready by then. So just come in and talk to a clerk, okay?
All right, sound good. All right, thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Mattson, I'm actually going to move you forward with Joseph Campbell. And Mr. Campbell, can you confirm that I can hear you?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, I'll move you over to that meeting.
Okay, thank you.
I did see that note. Yes, and folks, give me just a moment. I didn't. Okay. All right, a little too many juggling hats. Just give me one more second. Okay, there we are. I'm going to move forward and let's see. See, that was the Campbell case. Moving forward. And I'm also moving forward myself with Leobardo Trujillo. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. I have you enrolled at Temple High School,
Yes, ma'am.
and I have a couple of cases. The stop is January 5th. One is for no driver's license. The fines and costs are $181. I did receive plea paperwork from you, a request, a plea of no contest on that charge, and a request for teen court. We've already completed teen court and you get to do it once, so I'm not going to be able to do teen court for that.
Yes, ma'am.
The other one is a speeding charge. The fines and costs are $284. I received a no contest, and it's the same answer. Not able to, it's too recent.
Yes, ma'am.
If we're close to a 2-year mark, sometimes. Are you in the process of getting a license?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, how rapidly can you get a license? Because the only thing with the DL, the law doesn't really provide for a dismissal of that for compliance. We have a small, very limited workaround here at this court as an agreement I have with this prosecutor to allow a little bit of that to encourage people to get licensed, but you would not have very long. How quickly could you get a license?
Probably by next month.
Hang on just a minute. I know that you weren't able to get it before because of, have you solved that problem?
I'm sorry, you're cutting out, ma'am.
Okay, well, try to hear me because we otherwise have to delay. You weren't qualified last month to get your license
No, ma'am.
because of enrollment in school. Have you fixed that problem? Are they going to sign off on it? Because if we're resetting to reset and it's not real, I don't do that.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not sure if they're going to set me now or not.
Okay, so don't tell me you can get it if you don't know that you can get it.
Well, by next month, I'm already going to be 18.
Okay. Have you taken all your No, that's not next month. That's a month.
Oh, and
A month from today is March 9th, and your birthday is on the 31st.
The 31st.
You have classes to do to qualify. You still have to do a class and get set up with VPS to get it done. I don't think you're looking at 30 days. I think you're looking at on a good scenario. It might be that you could pull this off in 60. I'm not sure if you'd still be qualified. There's a reason why I say I'm not. I don't mean sometime in March.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I mean, it's days. It's very limited. I need to look at that. Qualify? Moving my way. I'm just going to look and see. You're on time to court, which is critical. Did he have another license charge last time? Okay. You have a previous, so you wouldn't be qualified anyway. So on that one, you're not eligible to be having that dismissed. If you get that one paid, I'm willing to extend the speeding charge 60 days. And if you come back with a license, you'd be eligible to do a driver safety course. You'd have to pay the court costs, but I would be able to do that. What do
Can
you
you
say?
repeat that one more time?
Yeah. On the license charge, you're not eligible for a dismissal.
Okay.
Are you working?
No, ma'am.
How would you pay a ticket?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, here's kind of where I'm going. You know, you just keep driving and you keep breaking the rules on driving.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So I'm not exactly friendly on this. Okay. And I see that you don't have the ability to pay. So, I mean, I would order community service, but I would want that wrapped up. I mean, you're going to have a due date the same day that you come in with a license, insurance, and payment on the driving safety course to get the other one dismissed. Or we can just wrap it up into a community service order now. It's up to you.
How much hours would the community service be?
On the license charge, it would be 10 hours. And if I do them all together, it would be 25 hours. And that would take care of it, but the convictions would be entered. Do you want a minute to think about it? Because I need to talk to Mr. Campbell. Hang on a moment. I'm going to talk to Mr. Campbell. Okay, Mr. Matson and Mr. Campbell, where are we on that matter, on the matter of the speeding allegation?
Your Honor, Mr. Campbell will be placed on deferred disposition.
Okay.
And I will be requiring 6 hours of a driver safety course by day 60. And he said that he can swing by the court today to pay the fine and sign the document.
Okay, when is our deferral ending? Is it a 90-day or?
It's a 120-day period.
Okay, so it ends on June 13th, Mr. Campbell. The 6-hour DSC course will give you information for that. And we said the 60th day, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And let's see. Okay, we can have that ready pretty quickly. Sir, when are you able to come by today?
It'll probably be around 2 o'clock. I've got a meeting over in Temple around then, so.
That'll work for us. We don't need everybody to show up at once, actually.
Okay.
That's actually quite good. Okay, so I'll just make a note so the clerk knows to kind of look out for you around 2 o'clock, okay?
Okay.
All right, we'll have everything at the window. We'll also have some information for how to find the proper class.
Okay, thank you.
You can do the one that you pick as long as it meets the 6-hour requirement. It'll be good to go.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to go. Mr. Matson, I'm moving you forward, and your next person is going to be Alonzo Bolin. Can you, Alonzo Bolin, can you unmute that your audio? I'm sorry, you hit the button at the same time. If you don't mind redoing that. Thank you. Is your audio great? Okay, I'll move you on over to that meeting.
Alrighty.
Thank you. Okay. All right, Mr. Trujillo, if you'll go ahead and unmute again, let's talk further.
Okay.
So really where I'm inclined to go is, you know, I'm just inclined to sentence and go for community service, have it due in 60 days. The other option I would make available, but I mean, I'm really serious, I'm not going to give you more time than this, would be to go ahead and do the community service order on the license charge. The community service, it would be 10 hours. It would be due by March 14th. And then I would extend your driving course for you to come in and pay your court costs which I believe are I'll have to double check. I think they're 149, present license and insurance. And that would be no later than April 11th. You would have to really get your ducks lined up fast.
I think I'd just do the community service for both.
Okay. In that case, because it's 25 hours, I'll give you until April 11th for your due date. And I need you to come by the court today to sign for your community service packet. And that way you can get all the information for getting your community service done. What time can you be here?
At 11.
Great. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? All right. Guess not. Moving forward. Jeremy Parks, how are you today? I'm sorry. If you'll unmute, it'll help me a lot. I'm not great at lip reading. I'm not bad, but I'm not great. No, I'm
sorry.
joking. I'm just being a little bit, I'm playing. Don't worry about it. Thank you, though. I just want to kind of confirm where we are because we have old and new. Okay. We have, but you're going to tire of me. You're going to be tempted to say, I got it. But really just bear with me. I want to make sure that you and I are in agreement on the same page as far as like understanding what's going on. Okay. Because at this point, from where I'm sitting, I have a long history of it's not getting dealt with, but you're here, right?
Yes,
So I kind of weigh that out like, well, yeah, but he's here. So it's not like I'm mad, but I really need to get clear with you what I'm expecting to have happen so that you can successfully get it done so that I can release your license because I know I have a hold on it at this point. And it may be important to you at this point to try to get it back.
Yes,
Right?
ma'am, it is. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So one thing that happens with that Omni program, and I don't know if you know the name of that program, but the program is called Omni, and it's a hold on the license. And after a certain period of time, when someone's not here, if they don't show up for a long enough time, that hold goes into effect. Now, when that hold kicks in, it doesn't just go away. I can get the warrants to go away on my request. For me to request Omni to be released, I have to be able to clear your cases out fully and zero out your balance. Okay. And there's a lot of ways that we look at doing that. So bear with me. I'm almost done with my docket, but the prosecutor has a longer docket. So don't mute even unless there's a problem. And hold on a second, because I want to move Mr. Matson forward and Mr. Boleyn, he's ready to move forward. And I just want to get that moving because I need to move the prosecutor along. Mr. Matson, where are we on the bullet? First, I want to clarify because his screen has one spelling and we have another. So, Mr. Boleyn, is it B-O-O-L-E-N or B-O-L-L-E-N?
It's BOOLEN.
Okay, great. Now, this is a theft under $100 charge. The allegation date is January 5th. The fines and costs are $296. And I do have a plea of not guilty. Mr. Matson, where are we with this matter?
Your Honor, I will be reducing Mr. Boleyn's fine to $50, which will bring the total cost up to $131 with the court costs.
Okay. I can follow that request and I can do that on your motion here in court. Mr. Boleyn, when would this get paid?
I was gonna see if I could do it for the 30 days.
Okay. I can. Yes. Go ahead.
No, because I was just saying, because I'm supposed to be starting a new job next week, but it's not 100% set in stone. I'm waiting on the truck to get ready.
Okay, let's see. I think that the 30th day for the On terms of the.
I didn't hear what you said.
I know, I'm talking to a clerk. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I can give you till March 10th.
That should work.
Okay. I can just sign the 30 days to pay. And so we'll, can we email that to you? To the email we use?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. He doesn't need to. After we do that. Okay, so I'm gonna order that you pay this within 30 days. There's a built-in mechanism here where if you can't do it, you need to contact the court by that date.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so I'm just gonna send you a copy of a judgment that says you have 30 days to pay it, okay?
Sounds good.
I'll do the reduction first.
All righty, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Good luck with everything.
You have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Mr. Matson, I am moving you forward because your next person, let's see, is going to Jordan Truesdale. Jordan, can you unmute and get on screen?
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Thank you. I'm well. I hope you are as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Mr. Matson, I'm moving you forward to talk with Jordan Truesdale, excuse me. Okay. Let's see now. Truesdale, she moved over, so she's good to go. And Mr. Parks, thanks for waiting. So I don't mind at all. In fact, I would have just kind of picking up right where we left off. In fact, I have a packet that will teach you how to get your license into what we call an occupational license status while all this is pending, so that you can drive without being afraid of going to jail.
Yes, ma'am.
And, you know, that's a lengthy process, but the problem is you've got new cases and it's going to impact your driving record for a little while.
Yes, ma'am.
The packet I have, and you're going to need to come get it, that packet, it literally has everything. If you will walk through it, it gives you a 6-step process for how to get an occupational license, including what you need to file in and how to find the right court and how to get them to deal with fines and costs and all of that stuff. So the first thing that judge is going to ask you, and it's a JP, the first thing they would ask you literally will be, have you taken care of Temple? Prove that you're in a process for resolving that. So you're here and it's exactly what you need to be doing. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we have an old case from 2016, and I want to ask you a question up front. And this is not me making assumptions. It's me trying to find avenues to try to take some of this off in an effective and quick way. Because I'm looking for as quick a resolution as I can get you to.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any jail time anywhere that I could look at?
Any jail time?
Yes, sir.
Like,
Have you ever been arrested?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am.
Where was that?
In Temple.
Okay. Hold on a second. We're gonna pull that up because I have look access and it's gonna take a minute while we're pulling that up. So I have an old case from 2016 with a balance of 470.60, and we already have a plea on that one. It's just a question of dealing with that balance. So we'll talk about that balance in a minute. The next thing I have is a speeding charge, and this is September 7th of 2016. And I'm just trying to match it to your plea forms that you sent in. Hang on a second. This is so strange. I'm sorry, hang on just a moment. This is, they've got the wrong number on the one. Okay. I found the right form. I received a no contest plea. This is a speeding charge. It's 80 and a 50. This is that September 7th, 2016. And the fines and costs are $451.10. And I have a no contest written plea. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then I have a driving while license invalid charge. This is March 23rd of 2018. And the fines and costs there are $456.17. I did receive a no contest plea written from you. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And then there's a no driver's license charge from January 25th of 2016. That one already has a plea. It has a balance of $274.40. I'm just letting you know. And then a no insurance charge from that same stop. A plea has already been entered. You were paying on those two cases. The balance is $196.30, and it's just gone to a type of warrant called a KPS. And then there is a charge called violating the promise to appear. That actually means just not being here, not showing up. The fines and costs there are $434.20, and I did receive a no contest plea. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
And then there is a no insurance charge with fines and costs. Sorry. Hang on just a moment. I've got a duplicate. Give me a second. Okay. There is a no insurance charge. And I don't have a plea in front of me. You might have dropped one, but I had a duplicate instead printed out for me. So I'm just going to ask you, June 2nd, there's a no insurance charge of 2022, June 2nd. The fines and costs are $430.30. How are you pleading to that charge?
No contest.
Okay. And then there's a driving while license invalid charge. And they didn't charge you as a second offender. They might in the future, and they'll take you straight to jail if that happens. So that's another reason why I'm really going to be pushing you to try to get a driver's license, because I don't think jail is really going to be helpful here. It doesn't seem like you need that. January 27th, 2023, a license invalid charge, and I did receive a no contest plea. Is that your plea at this time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I'm turning myself around a few times. I apologize. There we go. Mixing things around because we've got a lot going on. Now, the clerk was kind enough to print up your jail record for me. So give me a second to look at that and see if I can give you some time credit. Okay. All right. So everything that is super old. So the 2016 to 2018, there's a whole section in there that I can time serve. Okay. The last two cases, one is 2022 and the other, and that's the no insurance charge, that's recent. And then the January 27th charge, the DWLI, the invalid license. I can't time serve those two cases, but I can time serve the other 6 cases, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm just gonna make a quick note for the clerk so they can prepare orders. That's gonna make your path a lot faster, which is helpful for you, and me as well, frankly. But, okay, so Mr. Parks, the next thing is that leaves us with 2 cases. One is in warrant, which we can solve by pulling that warrant out today. And let me just look at your financial situation. Give me a quick moment to do that.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you still at American, what is it called?
American Spin Cash. Yes, ma'am.
Fincast. Okay. You're paid every Friday, every Monday? How's that?
Every Tuesday.
Okay. Then do you have 3 kids at home?
Yes, ma'am. I do.
Are y'all receiving, you or anyone in the home receiving food stamps, disability, or other benefits like that?
Not at the moment. Trying to, but not at the moment.
Okay. Is your partner there helping and working, or you?
Yes, ma'am. She just started working at Wendy's.
Okay. Every bit helps. And I guess y'all have one little JC as a little child.
Yes, ma'am. 2 years old.
All right. And you have a son who's 12, or is he 2?
He's 12. I'm sorry.
Okay, I thought you might have twins. That is a busy time. Okay, let's see. Okay. Can you pay anything towards your balance today?
Yes, ma'am.
What are you able to pay? Your balance, I'm sorry, I should tell you your balance. Your balance right now, after I take, we started with like a lot. Let me look. We started with almost $3,000. And now we've got you down to $711.30.
Oh, thank you.
What's the max that you could pay today?
I can pay 100 today.
And then after that, and I'm going to recall all your warrants as well. After that, what I like to do at this point is I can make it comfortable, but it will take longer. So, you're going to want to clear this as fast as you can.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I can say starting next week or the week after, you're paying $30 every 2 weeks. And then if you want to pay more and get it done faster, no one's going to penalize you. Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm trying to get it done pretty quick. So I'm gonna have to work overtime. So I'd rather pay 100 a week.
Okay. I can order that if you really think, yeah. But see, I can order $30 a week, and then if you pay 100, you just do it faster.
Yes, ma'am.
And that way, if you hit a problem, you're not having to come in to talk to me about it each time.
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't mind either way. I can just say on the 14th, when you get paid, that's Valentine's Day. We can just start on the 21st if you'd rather, and go $30 every 2 weeks. And then you sign for that today. And what that commits you to is a minimum, but not a maximum. And you can always just cross it all out faster and pay early.
Yes, ma'am. I do that.
Okay. So $100 today, $30 minimum every 2 weeks, and begin no later than 2/21. And again, like I said, we don't penalize you when you take care of things. We penalize you when you don't.
Yes, ma'am.
And then what I want to do is tell you that when you come here to sign for this, and I need to know when you can be here, I'm going to have a big packet for you of information. And that's that walkthrough for how to get your license released.
Yes, ma'am.
And you can get an occupational license. And that will carry you through the suspension period that's about to happen because all these new cases.
Yes, ma'am.
And that way you're lawful driving. You're not getting, the problem that it happens for people is they get suspended, they drive, they get suspended, they drive, and they never catch up. If you get an occupational, I call it a bridge. It's like you build a bridge for yourself over to a not suspended time. And you drive lawfully on that license. It's restricted, but you get to do the things you need to do for your family, for your health, for your work. And then you get a regular license. And you know what? Those are people that I never see again.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you want to be that person, I can give you the information, but I can't do it for you. You'll have to walk yourself.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
it's doable. And if you knew where to go to look it up, you could find this information. But I've gone ahead and just printed it for people. It's kind of a courtesy. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
What time are we looking for you today? Say 11.
I get off at 1 o'clock today.
That's perfect. 1:30.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. We will see you then. $100 today. $30 every 2 weeks, beginning no later than the 21st of this month. Pay it off early. Get done. I will have all of this at the front desk for you. And then you'll be able to, get yourself out of the mill of running on this ramp. You know what I mean?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. We'll have all that at the front desk for you, Mr. Parks. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mattson, I know that you were talking with Ms. Truesdale, and Ms. Truesdale, if you'll unmute and get back on screen briefly, let's see where we are, folks.
Your Honor, I actually worked with Ms. Truesdale on this case as well as the expired motor vehicle registration ticket that she has.
Perfect.
And I'm going to place her on a double deferral on both of those.
Okay.
She told me that she has already obtained insurance and registration on both of those.
Okay.
So she's going to submit proof of registration and proof of insurance by the 30th day of the 120-day period.
Yeah, that's 3/14. Got it.
Okay. And then because she has already obtained the insurance quickly, I'm actually going to wipe the fine and only require the court cost of $81.
Okay.
And then the registration, because she did not pay the late fee, it'll just be the 151 total.
Okay.
And I'm not sure, are you able to retroactively pay the late fee on registration? No? Okay.
Now, if it's Bell County, I've never seen them do it. If it's somewhere else, I don't know. But over here, I've found that they just don't let people do it.
Okay. Then Ms. Truesdale, I was not sure about that. So you don't have to pay the late fee on that. You already obtained the registration. I just need you to submit the proof of the insurance and the proof of the registration by the 30th day, which is March 14th. And then don't get any other tickets during that 120-day period. And you will be good to go.
Okay, we've got to deal with the fines and costs, which both of the tickets total $232.
That's correct.
Okay, what are we looking at there?
Ms. Truesdale, I'm sorry, I forgot. Were you wanting to pay that $232 in full within 30 days, or did you want to break that into installments?
I could actually have it paid in full in the 30 days.
Okay.
Okay, so this becomes a deferral that runs from today till June 13th. During that,
Okay.
during that time, no convictions, no tickets. What we'll say then is that by the 30th day, which is March 14th, payment of 232, proof of registration, proof of insurance brought to the court, and that'll all go in your file as a condition. I need a signature on the form today. Can you
Yes,
come by
ma'am.
the court? Can you come by the court to sign?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What time?
I actually live down the street.
Can we say by noon?
I can go. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We'll see you at the counter at noon. It should only take a few minutes. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, I actually had another thing. Like 2 years ago, I had a speeding ticket. I completely forgot about. But
Right.
I
You're on a
wanted to
payment.
see if we could do. I'm on a payment plan for that.
You're on a payment plan for that, and you're on time.
Okay. I just wanted to be sure.
It happens. Okay. So I will have your deferral ready. And when you're here, you can actually have them print up that payment plan again for you to make sure
Okay.
you stay on time, because part of your deferral will be that you not default on that. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right. We'll have everything at the window for you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Truesdale. You're good to go.
All right, you have a good one.
Too. Mr. Matson, Stavana Riggs is waiting for you. And Stavana Riggs, if you could unmute.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good. I'm going to move you over to that meeting with the prosecutor.
Oh.
Mr. Vicuña, we haven't forgotten about you. We'll be with you shortly, okay? Yes. Yeah, it was different. This is Miss Ellen, and she's just a motion. I mean, she's not here. She's not indigent, so I don't see anything I can do. There's that reduction. And this guy, this is Mr. Mitchell, and he's a no-show, and he wanted more time to do community service, and claims he didn't receive it. I don't think we got anything returned, so the extension that we're giving is to set him for a show cause. So he can turn it all in up to that date, but he'll need to be here if he doesn't turn it all in, or he'll go to warrant. So just set him for a show cause and just make a note that we can accept hours up to that show cause date. But he needs to be moving forward since he's not showing up. Hmm? He did not say. So I'm assuming that just anything, whatever she brings, as long as it's really a policy. I would think a minimum. This is a no-show on the pre-trial docket. Just make some notes. Okay, Mr. Metzen, on the Riggs case, where are we?
Your Honor, Miss Riggs is going to be placed on deferral. And I actually have quite a different approach to this one, for lack of a better term.
Okay.
A standard 120 days.
Okay.
And she is going to submit a driver's license by the 90th day of the period.
Okay.
And I believe she would be deemed indigent by you, so I'm going to
Yes.
request that she have community service hours in lieu of fine.
Yes, I agree. That turns into 9 hours. And normally we're going to have a due date of March 14th. And Ms. Riggs, I'm sorry, you didn't know. So community service hours, 9 hours due March 14th. My list tends to be over here on this side of the county. You can do it over there, but you'll need to get the place that you're wanting to do it submitted and approved before you get started. So I give a 2-week on that. So I need to know we're doing that and get it approved within 2 weeks, or else I just say use the list for over here. So I think what I'll do is, instead of the 30 days on the 14th, I'm going to add 2 weeks to it, since it's pretty likely. And so your due date won't be till March 28th. However, a pre-approval date would be by February 28th of anything that's deviating from the list. In other words, we give you a list where you can do it, and you can do it over here on that list. If you do it over there, you've got to find a place and get it pre-approved by the first 2 weeks. And then your turn-in date for your hours, which is 9 hours, would be by March 20th.
Okay.
Okay. And your license by May 11th. And your deferred ends June 13th. So no tickets, no convictions, no failures to appear during that time. And then just meet those 2 conditions. I need to get your signature on the document today. What time can we have you come here, or can we email it?
I can be there 12:30.
That would be perfect. Okay. We'll see you about 12:30 and we'll have your documents.
Okay.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
If I have a place, a church down here that I can do community service at, how would I go by getting that approved on your end?
Right. So when you pick up your packet today, where I think it's where we give you the rules, you'll flip it over and it'll tell you how to do that.
Okay.
And there'll be a form for you to have them fill out with you. And then you submit it, we verify the information and say yes, and then you're good to go.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We'll see you about 12:30.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Matson, certainly not least, Juan Vacuna is ready. Vacuna. And sir, I'll move you over to that meeting. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. That looks good. Got a booking sheet on that one. Yeah. Wow, okay. A lot. Mm-hmm. What did we figure out on Mr. Osorio? Huh? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I see the bonds people and they aren't familiar. Let me look at them. I mean, he's a no-show. It's I've seen that before from the county, but I don't recognize any of those bondsmen, so I don't know. So there we go on that one. You're right there. Okay. So we had two cases here. They're both from the 29th of November. Where are we on these matters?
Your Honor, I am going to be speaking with code to figure out if any further work needs to be done on the property. From what Mr. Vicuna said, it sounds like the reasons for the citations have already been cleaned up. So I'm going to touch base with Brad. If he confirms that that's the case, Mr. Vicuna will be pleading no contest on outside storage in exchange for dismissal on the unapproved surface. And on the outside storage citation, I will be wiping the fine. He'll just be paying the court costs because the property has been cleaned up. So I guess for the time being, we'll set for final pretrial. If I can get confirmation from Brad that that's the case, then we will go forward with that deal.
Okay, so I just made a note, but I know that doesn't mean that's necessarily what we're doing. I'm sorry. Okay. So Mr. Vicuna, what we'll do is we'll set the case for the final pretrial on March 22nd at 1. And it sounds like hopefully it gets resolved before then. If you think it's resolved, just still check in the morning of and make sure you don't need to be here. If it's not resolved, come on in and we'll sort out what's happening. If it's resolved, then it's resolved. So if y'all bring that forward to me as an agreement beforehand, I would approve it. So you know at least my temperature on that, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, so you're good to go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions before you go?
No, thank you. God bless both of you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.